Hello everyone. Today, this is Maitri Bharadwaj, and today in today's class we will be starting with the flower with its parts, then presentation, talking about the fruits, the embryo parts, then the seeds. In the last class, we completed till phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy was the arrangement of the leaves on the stem or the branch. So today, class, I'm starting with the inflorescence. What is inflorescence? Actually, the arrangement of the flowers on the floral axis is known as inflorescence. What is a flower? Flower is a modified shoot. Floral meristem. See, flower is what? The modified shoot. The shoot it converts into the flower. Now, shoot, which part of the shoot it converts into the flower? Okay, the question is this: which part of the flower? Suppose I'm drawing over here. This is the stem. Okay, like this. Now, the floral part is what? This one, the tip. Here you will get the flower. Okay, यहाँ पर फ्लावर आएंगे, यहीं पे तो फ्लावर बनेगा. So this part is called as, this portion, this part we call as this apical meristem. Apical meristem कहेंगे इसे, right? So the floral meristem, modified shoot, is apical meristem, which is also known as the floral meristem. Now, during the formation of a flower, the nodes of the flower, the nodes of the stem, okay, nodes of the stem, they elongate themselves. But the internode, they do not elongate, rather, they get condensed. Okay, I've already told you what is a node and what is an internode, but then too, I'm explaining it once again. This is a stem or a shoot part. This line I'm showing, this line is showing the nodes. This is the nodes. And this portion in between the two nodes is your internode. Okay, that is called as internode. Now, apex. Different kinds of floral appendages laterally at the successive nodes instead of leaves. Different kinds of floral appendages, they grow laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. एपेक्स में लीफ नहीं आती है, वहां पर फ्लोरल एपेंडेजेस आते हैं. द फ्लोरल एपेंडेजेस दे अराइज. नाउ शूट, whenever a shoot tip, ठीक है, this diagram that I made, whenever a shoot tip is converted into a flower, it is always solitary. Solitary means a straight like this. This is solitary. Is it bending? No, it's solitary. ठीक है. Okay, next thing. Whether the apex get converted into the flower or not, we have mainly two types of arrangement of the flowers. One is the racemose and second is the cymose. Now, what is racemose and what is cymose? Racemose means whenever the main axis continues to grow, whenever a main axis continues to grow, it is a racemose. Means this is the main stem and it continues to grow and the flowers are here. They are growing on the side, on the lateral portion. Now, if I have to ask a question in this, then I'll ask, can you tell me which of the flower is the youngest flower and which one is the oldest flower? Then answer will be the lower parts, the lower flowers, they are the oldest one, T, and the upper flower, the uppest one, the upper one will be your youngest flower. ठीक है, the youngest one. The main axis will never bear a flower, rather it continues to grow and the side portion they will bear the flowers. ठीक है, the flowers are born laterally in an acropetal manner. This type of arrangement is acropetal and this is your racemose type. Now moving to the cymose. In cymose, the main axis it terminates. The main axis terminates. If this is the main axis, it will bear a flower and it will grow no more. And then here also it will have no flowers. Then we have like this. Here, the oldest one will be the upper flower. The oldest one will be your upper flower, whatever be the upper flower, this. And the rest of them on the side, on the lateral, below it, they will be your younger flower. Here the arrangement is basipetal order and the main axis terminates to crown. Okay? On the basis of arrangement of the floral flowers, we have mainly two types of arrangement. One is the cymose and second one is the racemose. Okay, next thing, next topic we are starting is the flower. We all know flower, the beauty of the plant, right? Is the main reproductive unit. The different parts of the flower we have as gynoecium, androecium, corolla, and the calyx. I've made the diagram also. Okay. So this is a gynoecium. It consists of this stigma, this is a style, and this is the ovary. Three parts. This is the corolla, petal, androecium. Androecium, it consists of the anther and this filament. Calyx is the green sepal present over here. Pedicel is this stem, green stem. Thalamus, on which the whole flower is present, is the thalamus, that green color part. This androecium and this gynoecium. Androecium and gynoecium are they are the main reproductive parts. Cheek and the corolla and the calyx are accessory parts. Okay, thalamus, the other word for thalamus is receptacle. It is a swollen end of the pedicel on which the four rows are present. Androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive organs. Now, what is a perianth? There are some terms that should be clear to you. First is a perianth. What is a perianth? Perianth is actually when calyx and corolla are not distinguished. Then that type of arrangement is called as a perianth. ठीक है, example is the lily. In the lily, the petals and the sepals, they are not distinct. You cannot identify which one is a petal, which one is a sepal. So that type of arrangement is called as perianth. What is a bisexual flower? Whenever a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, you call it as the bisexual flower. Unisexual flower, if either one is present, not the both, then unisexual flower. Now, on the basis of symmetry, we have mainly three types of symmetries in a flower. First is actinomorphic, second is zygomorphic, and third is the asymmetric one. Actinomorphic means these are the type of the symmetry in which the division of that whole part is only through one radial plane. Like if we talk about the beans, okay, so look, beans खाते हैं and chili. See, beans like this, beans. If I have to divide the beans, then it will be divided in this manner from the center. Only one. From only one radial center we have from where we can divide the beans. Talking about the chili. Chili like this. Okay. Now dividing the chili will be only from the center. No other plane. Only one radial plane we have. So this type of division in which we have divided it into two equal radial halves that passes through the center is called as actinomorphic. Example is mustard, dhatura, chili. Then zygomorphic. Zygomorphic means there is two similar halves only from one vertical plane. Means any plane you can choose and you will divide the whole part, the whole system into two equal halves. Like the P. P is circle. You can divide it from here, divide it from here or here, sorry, here from the middle. So it is getting the same thing, the same division you will get. What is asymmetric? Irregular. Cannot be divided into equal halves by any vertical plane passing through the center. Example is canna. Zygomorphic example is gulmohar, cassia, pea, and beans. And here mustard, dhatura, chili is the example of actinomorphic. This one I have told you about mustard. Okay. Next. Now what is on the basis of floral appendages? We have mainly three types of floral appendages. Like if the appendages are three in number, then we call it as trimerous. If it is four in numbers, then we call it as a tetramerous. If five in number, then we call it as a pentamerous. Then a new term is bract. What is a bract? It is a reduced leaf at the base of the pedicel. At the base of the pedicel, see, if this is a stem, this is a pedicel, and at the base of the pedicel, if we have something like this, यहाँ पे तो flowers है पूरा, ठीक है, here is the flower. The base of the pedicel, we have the reduced leaves. This is the stem, and here we have the reduced leaf. We call it as a bract. And the one with the bract is called as a bractate. Without bract is called as ebractate. Then, on the position of the calyx, corolla, and androecium, and with respect to the ovary on the thalamus, that is the gynoecium on the thalamus, we have again three types of divisions: hypogynous, perigynous, and epigynous. What are they? Now, hypogynous means, hypo means hyper. Word you have read. Hyper means what do you say? Hyper means high. Hypo means what? Hypo means low. Low what? Hypogynous. Hypo means low. Gynous means gynoecium. Means the other parts. Okay. With respect to the gynoecium, they are in lower position. And gynoecium is occupying the highest position in the flower. Means I'm drawing it over here. Just wait and see. This is the flower. Sorry. This is the stem. These are the sepals. Okay. And petals like this. Okay. And ovary be here. Here. And filaments, anther one, like this. So if this is the whole flower, and these are the corolla, the sepal, and this androecium, and gynoecium is occupying the highest position with respect to the rest parts of the flower, then we call such an arrangement as hypogynous arrangement. Example of such arrangement is mustard, china rose, and brinjal. Then we have perigynous. Perigynous, gynoecium at the center and other parts are at the rims of the level. Perigynous means at the same level. Whenever they both are at the same level, then we call such an arrangement as perigynous. Ovary is called as half inferior in such an arrangement of perigynous. Example is plum, peach, and rose. Plum, peach, and rose. Then we have epigynous. Epigynous means the other parts, they are above the gynoecium and they are enclosing the ovary completely, or we can say that they get fused with it. In such an arrangement of epigynous, the ovary is inferior. Example is guava, cucumber, ray florets of sunflower. Okay. Then we have uh, Aestivation. About the corolla. The next part is the corolla, the petals. What is aestivation? See, arrangement of sepals and petals with respect to the other members of the same role is called as aestivation. We have mainly four types of aestivations: valvate, twisted, imbricate, waxillary or papilionaceae. ठीक है? Value it. Sepals and petals in the rows just touches each other at the margin without overlapping. Hmm? Here you can see the diagram. The sepals and petals, they are arranged, just they touch each other at the edge, but they do not overlap. Okay. Example, calotropis. Then we have the twisted. One margin of the appendage overlap the next one and so on like this. Sorry, back. Hmm. So, example China rose, ladyfinger, cotton and mustard. You can see like this. एक बाहर एक अंदर एक बाहर एक अंदर ऐसे करके. Then next is this was your twisted. Now imbricate. Margins of the sepals of petals overlap on each other but not at a particular direction. You can see this one is one out, one in. This is both the sides out. This is both the sides in. This is both sides out, in. So this is not a particular arrangement. Okay. Example, Gulmohar and Cassia. And then we have Vaxillary or the Papilionaceae. There are 5 petals. The larger one is called as standard, that overlaps on two lateral petals called as the wings, which in turn overlap on the two small anterior petals, which is called as keel. See, example is pea and the bean. This one, whole, is called as the standard. The two lateral wings are called, these are called as the wings. This is the keel, seen in pea and beans. Now next, androecium. Androecium unit is stamen, male reproductive organ. It consists of anther and the stalk or a filament. The anther is bilobed and each lobe has 2 chambers that contains the pollen grain. Bilobed in this manner, but they are bilobed. They have 2 chambers in each, and in these chambers they have the pollen grains. Okay. Now stamen plus petal is called as epipetalous condition. Example is fringul. Stamen plus perianth is called epiphyllous condition. Example is lily. When the stamens are free, it is called polyandrous. When stamens get united, if they form one bunch, example is China rose, 2 bundles, pea, more than 2 bundles, citrus. Variation in the length of filament in case of in the stamen, example is salvia and mustard. Examples are important, okay, with respect to your exams, so learn it by heart. Next topic that we have is gynoecium. See, gynoecium, it is a female reproductive part. It has a stigma. See, stigma at the tip of the style and is the main receptive surface for the pollen grain. Then we have style, which is the elongated tube-like structure that connects the ovary to the stigma. Then we have the ovary, which is the enlarged basal part on which lies the style. And here we have the ovules. You can see ovules are connected with the placenta. Placenta is a flattened cushion-like surface to which the ovules are attached. Now here also, if carpels are free, that condition is called as apocarpus. Example is lotus and rose. If carpels are fused, then we call the condition as the syncarpus. Example, mustard and tomato. After fertilization, ovules are converted into seeds and ovaries are converted into fruits. Placentation. Placentation means, see placentation, here the ovules, you see that they are connected to a cushion-like structure which is called as placenta. And if I talk about the arrangement of ovules within the ovary on the placenta, it's called as the placentation. Okay? No such big issues. Okay? Now, first is the marginal. Placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary or the ovule borne on this ridge, forming 2 rows. Example is P. So you have seen the P. In marginal, what happens? This is the P and it has a ridge on one side. And here it consists of the P. So this type of arrangement is called marginal, in which the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture. This is the ventral suture Here, this is the ventral suture and it forms the ridge. Okay. This type of arrangement is called as the margin. Then axial. Placenta is in the axial ovules attached in a multilocular ovary. Example, China rose, lemon and tomato. No worries. Diagrams मैंने बनाए हैं. I'm showing you. पहले theory देख लो. Theory देखने के बाद I'll show you the diagram also. Here placenta is present in the axial and ovules are attached in a multilocular manner. Multilocular means in this manner. ये बीच में बनेगा और द होल यहाँ प्लेसेंटा होगा एंड ये सारे ओव्यूल्स होंगे. ठीक है. China rose, lemon and tomato. Periatal placenta develops on the inner wall or the ovary or the peripheral part. Ovary is one chambered but become two due to the first septum. Example is mustard and argemon. Then free central ovules are born on the central axis and septa is absent. Example is dianthus and primrose. Basal में the placenta develops at the base of the ovary and single ovules are attached to it. Example is sunflower and marigold. So see the diagram. Very pretty diagram I have made. See, first is the marginal. I told you P. Example in axials the ovules are present at the axial. ठीक है, they are attached to the placenta in a multilocular manner. In parietal, on the periphery the ovules are present. Okay, then in the this free central in the middle, the multilocular manner, and the basal at the base. In this axial one, no, here in this parietal there is no septum, but it has only one chamber, but it can become two chamber if a false septum is created. If a false septum is created, then it becomes two chambered. ठीक है. Then we have the fruit. What is a fruit? It is a mature or a ripened ovary. We have read about parthenocardic fruits, the fruits in which there is no seed. And these fruits, they develop without fertilization of ovary. Such a fruit is called as parthenocardic fruit. The outer wall of the fruit is called as the pericarp. It has pericarp, fruit wall, the pericarp. Now it has seeds and the fruit has a seed and a pericarp. The pericarp, it can be dry, it can be fleshy also. Okay, if it is a fleshy one, then it is differentiated into different parts. Means the pericarp is differentiated into three parts. The outer pericarp is called as the epicarp. The middle one is called as the mesocarp, and the inner one is called as the endocarp. Okay. Now talking about the drupe. In the fruits, in the NCERT, we have different types of fruits. Okay. But we have the drupe. Example. We have false fruit also. We have red false fruit, the walnuts and all other are the false fruit. Strawberry, apple, they are false fruit. Because fruit का क्या है? They has to develop from an ovary. But thalamus, the apple that we eat, what we eat in apple, we eat the thalamus, not the fruit. Okay, we eat the thalamus. So that is called as the false fruit. In NCERT, we have drupe example, and drupe it has two examples: mango and tomato. Sorry, mango and coconut. Now they develop from monocarpillary superior ovary, one seeded. Mango का जो pericarp है, it is differentiated into three parts. Outer one is the thin epicarp, middle one is the fleshy edible mesocarp, and inner one is the hard endocarp. Then coconut, everything is same, but the mesocarp is fibrous in this case. Then seeds. Seeds, they are formed from the ovules. It has a seed coat and an embryo. Embryo has many parts like radicle from where the roots arises, embryonal axis, the middle axis, cotyledon, fern, and two cotyledon. If it is one, it is called as a wheat or a maize, and two hai to gram and pea. The structure of dicotyledon seed. Seed coat is the outermost covering, layers outer testa, inner tegumen, hilum scar on the seed coat through which the developing seeds were attached to fruit. Micropyle above hilum is a small spore. Within the seed coat is the embryo and embryonal and two cotyledons. Seed coat is present on the outer side, hilum is present, micropyle is present. The two cotyledons are present, plumule and radicle, and embryonal axis in the between. Cotyledon अगर fleshy है, full of reserve food है, it is called as endospermic fruit. Sorry, endospermic fruit, yeah. An endosperm is formed as a result of double fertilization. Example is castor, and it is a food storing tissue. Non-endospermic are those seeds in which the endosperm is not present in the mature seed. Example is bean, gram, and pea. Then we have structure of monocotyledon seed. Generally, they are endospermic, but some are non-endospermic. Example is orchid. Cereals, the seed coat is membranous, generally fused with the fruit wall. Endosperm is bulky and they store the food. Outer layer of the endosperm, it consists of aileron layer, which is a proteinaceous layer, and it separates embryo from the endosperm. Embryo, it is a small uh, it is a small part which is situated in the groove at one end of the endosperm called as the embryo. The scutellum, this is the scutellum which consists of one large shield-shaped cotyledon. An embryo is a short axis is called as a plumule. This short axis is plumule and this one is the radicle. No. Plumule, it has a covering which is called as collipartile, and radicle has is the coleorhiza. This is all for today. Thank you.